it's Heidi. Welcome back to my channel. And yeah, third time lucky. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for your prayers and your kind words and the rest. Um, yeah, as you can see, my shoulders are moving. I am moving. My head is moving. Not all the way, but yeah, we're getting there. But I would say 95% better than what I was 2 days ago. Anyway, I just want to share we go through hard times in life. And how are we going to deal with these hard things? Now, some people get very upset with me when I say that God allows these hard things to happen to us. God does allow it. Think of Job. Who started that whole thing with Job? Right? God asked the devil, have you considered my servant Job? He is righteous and he is blameless and what have you. You can go read it. And strangely enough, what Job lost, all of what he lost, God gave back to him twice as much. Twice as much as what he lost, God gave back to him. And yeah, so God does allow these things to happen in our lives. He does allow us to encounter hardships and difficult times and what have you, right? And you know what? They are lessons. Look at them as lessons or stepping stones or a ladder or something like that. A ladder. Not a lala. Ladder, guys. Anyway, so this morning's reading was from Psalm 46, verse 1. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. So basically, when we go through trials and hardships, we need to see it as an opportunity to learn some valuable lesson. Now, the most valuable lessons I've learned in life has cost me dearly. It really has. And I've never forgotten those lessons. I really have not forgotten them. And I haven't made the same mistake. So, because when the same thing comes across my path, I look at it and say, I have been there, have done that, wore the t-shirt, washed it out, hung it up in the cupboard, wore the t-shirt again, washed it out. Not doing it. Right? So, yeah. So when we go through trials and hardships, we need to see them as an opportunity to learn some valuable lesson. That's what I took from all this. Sometimes it will be a weapon handed to us. So how are we going to use that weapon? I always say, whatever you've been through, look at it as a weapon that God has put into your hand. The enemy has not put that weapon in your hand. Trust me, if you learn this, it'll change everything about you. When you go through your kids that are on drugs, you that have been through an abusive relationship, your husband beat you up, your wife beat you up. Yeah, we get the wives that beat their husbands up. And it does happen. Maybe your parents are an alcoholic, one or both of them, and you've had to deal with that in your life. I personally had not had to deal with that. Yeah, Mom did drink quite a bit at one stage, but yeah, I don't think she was ever drunk. Not that I remember in any case. My dad, he didn't really drink anything. He'd have a brandy once in a while, but that was about it, or a beer shandy. But yeah, squirrels, hardy squirrels, you're going off track here. Yeah, so it's a weapon that has been handed to us. How are we going to use that weapon? Now, I see you can use that weapon in 3 ways. Number 1, we can use it to inflict injury to ourselves. We can go into depression. We can start drinking as a result of whatever happened to us. It's possible. Maybe you'll start using drugs because it's the only way that you know how to deal with what has happened to you. I don't know. And that's the first one. The second one, we can inflict injury to others. Now, we can say we can be hard with other people. We can be cold. We can be unkind and rude. And yeah, just think of stuff that's happened. What type of person has it made you to be? Are you a kind, compassionate person? Or are you a cold and distant? You cannot allow somebody to love you. At one stage, I couldn't allow anybody to hug me. Now, those of you that know me now will not believe that, because I hug everybody. I love hugging people. But at one stage, I could not allow anybody to hug me. If somebody came and put their arm around me, I'd stiffen up. I'd become like a statue and think, like, go away, let go of me. And yeah, it's like, anyway. And then the third thing, we can use it, which is what God intends. Use it to destroy the works of the enemy. I asked God about this. This whole thing I asked God about. And because also something that had happened to me as a youngster. And I said, Lord, how do I deal with this? I don't know how to deal with it. And then he spoke to me and he said to me that, I actually got very angry because and that's also one of the things why I don't watch news, where this little baby, she was 8 or 9 months old, that was really horribly abused by her mother's boyfriend. And of course, something in me snapped. And I got so angry and I said to God, God, you are a good, loving God. How can you allow that to happen to this little kid? I mean, she's 8, 9 months old. She can't even walk. She doesn't know right from wrong. And yeah, I don't even want to think about it because I get angry. And then God answered me with a few questions. He said to me, have you ever been pregnant? So I said, no, not that I know of. There was a time in my life where I don't know what happened, but not that I know of. I said, right. He said, so you've never given birth? I said, no. Now, God knows the answers to all these questions. So he said to me, what do you do when you teach the emergency childbirth? Because I'm a qualified first aid teacher or instructor. He said, what do you do when you teach the emergency childbirth? So I said, I get the midwife in. I said, okay. He says, so why do you get the midwife in? Why don't you teach the lesson? I said, no, because the midwife has delivered babies. She knows what she's doing, and when the students ask questions, she can answer them because she's got the experience. He said, exactly. Penny finally dropped. I said, yeah, but that's really hard, Lord. I know certain things are like really hard for people to deal with. And he said, yeah, they are very hard. And then I was also reminded that God's hardest and toughest battles are given to his strongest soldiers. So are you going to be a strong soldier, or are you going to be somebody that you just whine and complain, poor me? And we've got every right to be upset. I mean, things happen. This is a very cruel world we live in. And things happen. Anyway, sorry, just hold on. So guys, whatever's happened to you, that hurt, that anger, that whatever it is, take it to God and say, Lord, here it is. I don't know how to deal with this. Show me how you want me to deal with it. And then he can take that and he'll turn the whole thing around. And you will be the exact person that he needs to go in and speak to you. If you've been on drugs, you'll be the one to go speak to the drug addicts. Drug addict is not going to listen to me, right? Yeah, I smoke ganja and did a few other things, but nothing serious, nothing major. So, yeah, and of course I drank too much. I really did drink too much. Yeah, no woman loved me when I was under the weather. Men, on the other hand, was a different story. But in any case, yeah, So just take your hurt, take your anger, take your whatever it is you're feeling, give it to God and say, Lord, show me, what do you want me, how do you want me to use this? And He will take you into those situations where you can speak to the people, because the people will listen to you because you've been there, you've done it. You understand, you've experienced it. They will listen to you. They won't listen to somebody that hasn't a cooking clue what they're going through. So, yeah, anyway. Okay, guys, now I'm waffling, and I'm going to cut it off here. So, yeah, lots and lots of love. Use a weapon to destroy the works of the enemy, and not yourself and not other people. Lots of love. Bye.